Hello.
Hi, what is up?
Hi. Not much. How you doing?
I'm fan freaking tastic.
I'm just here staying hydrated.
And nothing wrong with that. You
No.
know, I
Mm,
know hydration is important, especially since, we are transitioning to spring
yep.
finally. And but this
Yep.
daylight savings, ooh, it feel like time's been going quicker.
Yeah. I mean, like sped up. Like really.
Like really.
I
Like
woke up. I went to sleep around 11 a.m. and woke up at 2, and I felt like it was still morning. It was just like it was just so slow. I just kept on waking up, and I'm like, oh, I can go back to bed. It felt good though.
yeah.
I haven't had that kind of sleep in a while.
Yeah, I went to a private party yesterday with like, nice medicinal things, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm still kind of feeling like the aftermath today. So I got out the bed. Yeah, I like fell asleep on the couch first, but woke up like 5 a.m. Then went to my bed, and then I woke up like 8 something. So I was
Yeah.
pretty. Yeah, the time. I mean, the weekend was cool. It just went quickly, like
Uh-huh.
quicker than normal. But man, so welcome everyone to the Wine Fine Podcast, episode 22.
Welcome. 22. It's awesome.
Today's topic: Are older single women lonely? You know,
Lonely.
let social
Are
media
they
tell it.
lonely?
Let social media tell it. You have no value when you get older. But hey, before we
And you're
get into all of
lonely.
that, before we get into that, Azima, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram as Azima the Only. That's Azima the Only. And you can find me on YouTube and Facebook as OZD Wellness and Fitness. That's OZIDI Wellness and Fitness. So where can we find you, Joe?
So yeah, you can find me on all platforms, same handle, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Camp Jogo Fit. That's KampJogoFit. And also, y'all, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. The Wine Fine Podcast. Our subscribers has definitely been going up, and we definitely appreciate that. So eventually, we'll definitely be going live strictly from there. And of course, you can find older episodes to listen to.
Exactly.
So, man. So, I kind of touched on before, you got all these gurus out here pretty much, telling other people how to be.
Yeah.
We have, the late Kevin Samuels, a lot of women didn't care for because, he had his opinions. That may have,
Mm-hmm.
other people may say there was, a lot of truth in it, you know.
Yeah.
And then we got other ones up and coming because he is no longer with us. And, just, I don't even know why people focus so much on what other people are doing
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, when when you have experienced some things in life, you kind of not, you tend not to be excited for things that you were when you was like younger, that
Yeah,
when
I
you
don't
get
look back
older.
on those days
so it's
and say
like,
I wish.
a lot of times when you've been there, done that, you just don't find certain things important anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I know for me personally, um, it's very peaceful to not have to worry about, oh, is my significant other telling me the truth, or are they telling me that they're somewhere but they're really not there, or just
Mm-hmm.
the mind frame of people that we tend to see online. I think that was the worst, but the best thing social media could have done was give people a platform for them to spew out what's on their mind. And the great
Mm-hmm.
thing about that, even though they may be saying some imbalanced things, that gives you an idea to kind of stay away from those type of people that have those crazy thoughts. Like sort of like people who say that older single women are lonely or they have a problem with being lonely.
Yeah.
So, this episode today was kind of like inspired by this video here. If you didn't get a chance to see it yet or hear it, I will play some of it, and then we'll just basically, just touch on, some points from her and just some
Mm-hmm.
other points that we just wanted to make about this subject right here.
Okie
But
dokie.
let me go ahead and play it.
This video talking about middle-aged women, and we mad, mean, miserable, and lonely, right? And that we missed because we missed our opportunity to have a good man, and that's why we out here. We just lonely. First of all, let me just clear something up, right? Majority of us middle-aged women, because I consider myself a middle-aged woman. I'm 46 years old. A lot of us are single by choice. Not because we missed our opportunity, but just for the simple fact that the caliber of men that's out here now, to me, in my opinion, are not even worth dating or having a relationship with. And the fact that a lot of you young girls, because a lot of y'all are 20 years younger than me, but you look like you're my age, and that's because you living hard. You doing the age that you are now versus the age we were back then. You all are doing way more for way less with these men. Extremely big difference. And the mentality of the men when I was your age versus the mentality of the men now that you all are with, we're not missing out on nothing. You know what I mean? You all are the ones that's out here feeling, the pressures of social media. So you out here, posting flowers that you bought for yourself. You done took a trip that you paid for on your credit card. You still waiting on him to pay your credit card off. We didn't have to do all of that. See, the men back in my day, when I was your age, they put us in cars, paid cash for cars, put us in cars, put us in cribs. If we already had our own apartment, they paid the rent up for 6 months. You're not getting that. But you claim that we mad and miserable and lonely. We deal with men when we feel like it. You all feel this social pressure from social media to post all of this fake narrative, like you in this happy relationship. Us older, us middle-aged women, we know how to get, what we need and push them on to the side, tell them to get gone. Y'all want to move them in, let them sleep, in a house that you got on your own. And he's not even contributing. He's not paying no bills, really. You footing the whole relationship. But the fact that you can be on pictures with this man, and I'm going to tell you something else. All the stuff that you post and everything that you got, that you claiming that he bought, but you really bought yourself, you ain't doing shit but giving him the attention of about 10, 20 other women because they feel like he didn't bought this for you. He could do it for them. You giving these men way more action and attention than if you would.
All right, I'll just play that right there because it still has like about another minute. But
It sounds like more goes into a rant.
yeah, we don't ever want to get into like the rant. But what do you think? You think she made some valid points, or
Yes, 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 she
All
did.
right.
I think that the young ladies are living a lot harder now and working a lot harder. I mean, it's to their benefit, but when you're doing it for somebody else, it gets stressful.
Yeah, I
You're
would.
doing it for, when you're
Yeah,
not doing it as a team.
right.
Yeah.
Especially when she mentioned about the pressures of social media. Like I see like a lot of like the younger generation now, they're so pressured by looking a certain way on social media. Like it's like everyone
Mhm.
kind of looks the same. Everybody's getting like, the surgery and everything, getting injections in their lips to look a certain way. So, you know, I kind of
Well,
understand that.
I've been those the people I'm following, let's say on like YouTube and stuff like that. I say the majority of them got their teeth done.
Well,
You know, so that's the extreme that they went to. But I'm just like, I don't want to do all that.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, y'all gonna have to like the teeth I got. I don't. I mean, they said they're doing it for themselves, but You know, even that
Wow.
is a lot for me. I'm just like, I don't feel like doing that. You're gonna have to accept the smile I got, and that's it. And every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, it look good, and that's it. I don't want to do anything extra. You know, you go through all that effort to be on social media and make that money, and then use it to make yourself look better, and still people got shit jokes to crack on you. It really don't change anything. You know.
Yeah, social media, you could be whatever you want to be on there.
Hmm.
You'll
Yeah, but
see.
there's always something they gotta say, and if that's the case, why do all the changing for something that somebody's gonna say regardless?
Yeah, that's true because people will say something if you're doing bad. People will say something if you are doing good. So,
Hmm.
at the end of the day, we should never feel the need to put on this front for social media. That ends up stressing you out more than anything. You hear about they don't say much about these type of cases, but the amount of like social media influencers that been like couples and the husband ended
Yeah,
up killing like the wife and stuff. Not that that's funny, but
it's not
this just
funny.
goes to show that, huh?
No, I said it's not funny.
No, it's
It
not
isn't.
funny, but I mean, you kind of look at like what is this social media doing to people that they
Hmm.
just feel that they got to do the most.
Yeah,
And
and
I like,
that in reference to those young girls. I mean, like, I don't see the point of comparing, or insulting anybody
oh,
just
of
because
course
they're
not.
older than
No,
you. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm like, you're gonna get here and experience the same thing she just ran out. You're gonna do the same thing, and it just don't make any sense. It's
shoot,
just
you
like a
better
vicious
hope and
cycle.
pray. Better hope and pray that you get to that age because the way how things been going out here lately and stuff,
Yeah, go
that's
get your BBL in Mexico and get
oh,
kidnapped.
oh Lord. Don't even get into that. Like, oh, yeah, like y'all gonna do that, type of stuff with your body. At least be smart about it. At least get it here. But
Hmm.
even if you get it here, there's still a risk too, because
Yeah,
they got
certainly.
people, they got people, the wrong people putting anesthesia in, and then a person ends up dying because they wasn't, trained and putting in anesthesia, and then you end up not waking up after you had your surgery. So yeah, it's not worth it.
Hmm.
I think I I will say it's definitely a different world between now and back then. I'll
Yeah.
definitely say that. Um, I kind of like think about, I don't know. Do you remember like Buffy the Body?
Yes, I do.
All right, so like Buffy the Body, right? So she was like one of the few, a part of the clique of video vixens that was like actually getting paid money,
Hmm.
good money to be in videos and stuff. But
Exactly.
then,
Yeah.
when you got the chicks to come along to mess it up, and now they're not getting paid nearly as much as what they used to be getting paid because they was doing more for less, sort of like what the lady mentioned in the video.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
you see that meme that always goes around too on social media talking about guys talking about, oh, I got the hot $40 for you. Like $40. Like that's not a, how much $40 is? That's not enough. Like y'all here
$40 for
stressing,
what?
y'all over here stressing dudes for $40. Like I can't imagine. That wasn't even the case back when I was like in my 20s and stuff.
Hmm.
So
$40.
yeah, $40. Like what? Y'all don't have $40? Like no, I'm sorry, we needed more than that back then.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's the magic rate that they be wanting now. So
$40.
it's hilarious. Um, so let's just talk more on how I feel where she's coming from, where she says that the mentality of the men is different from then and now. I'm not gonna put, of course, every man in a box because you can't do that. There
Hmm.
are those anomalies and stuff. So when you got all these dudes just basically being a parrot to all these guru men talk about submission and everything.
Those Tate guys. What's his name? Andrew
Yeah,
Tate.
Andrew Tate,
Hmm.
then there's like some other up and coming ones too that, I don't remember their name, but they have enough followers and end up coming across their videos and whatnot.
Mhm.
So, they talk about all this
Mhm.
submission, everything. So I'm talking with my older coworker, 50. He's been married for a long time. So of course she's
Mhm.
not on social media as much, because she's also like in the ministry as well. So
Okay.
me and her just talking one day. I was like, I got a question. With you being married all this time, when does submission happen when you're dealing with being a wife, having a husband? When does that happen? Does that start before you get married? So, she's like, no, that starts when you have a wedding date in place, not just getting married, but a wedding date in place. And
Mhm.
you got to have all that stuff on paper. That is when you submit. And so I was like,
Mhm.
you know what? For her, having been married a long time, and, as far as I know, nothing crazy happened in their relationship. You know,
Mhm.
they seem pretty stable. They're one of those relationships that you'd be like, oh, people, they've been married for a long time. Not like
Uh-huh.
a lot of these people now, like you be like before the age of 40 already had like 3 marriages and 3 divorces and stuff. There's a lot of people out there like that.
Mhm.
So submission. I even thought about a Facebook friend of mine who made this funny post because I knew of a situation where he mentioned this post. He was like, man, it's the problem with social media is that these guys be wanting women to submit that they never met. And
Mhm.
I was laughing for days at that post because I actually knew of situations like that personally where there will be a man, he wants this lady he never met to submit. And it's like, where they do that at?
Mhm.
Like who the hell is making a commitment with AI the way how things are going? You know how many people out here
Oh,
getting
you don't know if the
catfish?
person's a bot.
And remember that the Tinder swindler and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
boy, like how the heck you gonna be wanting somebody to make a commitment to you when you never met them and stuff? So that's the
Mhm.
mentality of a few of people out there like that. Now,
Mhm.
the person that posted on social media, I never had a conversation with them about that, but it's clearly going on more often than not for them to be posting that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like, who would have
A
thought?
lot more often. I'm like, oh, I'm not the only one. I'm not
Like, wow,
alone.
you got you out here singing, "You were not alone."
That's basically what that message was. Like, look, you ain't the only one. There's people all over being told to submit to somebody they ain't never met. They don't want
Submit
to
to-
call you. They only conversate with you on messenger or some kind of, not direct. There's nothing ever direct. They want you to submit. That's
Fuck
crazy.
that. Lord.
I've been married for a while now, and
Yes.
I don't know,
Congrats.
the word submit
Alhamdulillah.
doesn't come up at all. It's very hard for either one of us to submit. So that's where we come up with the compromise, because submit doesn't exist in
Compromise. I like that.
our relationship. Submit. I can't. That's like the first time in a long time I use that word. So yeah,
Submit.
submit to me, bow down,
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. Bow down to me and stuff. Like,
kneel before me, and kiss my feet, and do
no,
as I say.
no.
Like,
Like
no.
you're gonna wear your hair a certain way, or I'm gonna pay somebody to do your makeup.
Yeah, but
Like, no.
that's scary, because I mean that's basically, what she's saying is that, you know I think we're in the world that she's from, which is kind of where we're from. We're
Yeah.
from,
Well, it's like,
it's we dealt with communication a lot differently, and we didn't have all those weird influencers telling us what to think and what to do. We witnessed it in our community, how to treat one another. So no
yeah,
matter how much we want the submission and stuff like that, we know we have to compromise, with a person, not tell them how to, live their life and let them be. I think, and these young ones, they grew up on YouTube and all these social medias, and they're just being influenced and thinking that, oh, because you're not doing like me, you must be miserable. And I'm like, I'm happy as fuck because I ain't doing what you're doing. First of all,
Yeah.
I don't want to ever go back to that time period again. That is not something that I daydream about, is being in my 20s,
And being the
wondering.
part of the popular crew and stuff. Heck
Exactly.
no.
No, I'm very glad being alone by myself. And I'm not saying I'm alone, but I don't have to deal with that shit. You know what I mean? Or deal with, people who's expecting me to submit to them, and or she's not feminine enough, and all those crazy things that we've been talking about, that the social media has been talking about.
And
I'm just
not only
happy to
not
be.
only that, right? 'Cause I know for
Mhm.
me, because I'm speaking in terms of, hey, no, I'm not with anybody, but definitely far from lonely.
Mhm.
Definitely not that.
Yeah.
It's like, like I touched on before, it's very peaceful. It's, and also a lot of stuff that people don't talk about. Social media has also made it easier for people to like mess around and stuff, because
Mhm.
somebody could like never have your number and everything, but they could call you right for messenger or DM you or call you from there and everything. So I'm kind of grateful to not have those type of worries and everything,
Mhm.
because you'll have, like, say for instance, you have dudes that will be in your inbox, and then a few weeks later they'll be like, oh, I'm pulling up with my queen and I was just saying all this freaky stuff in your DM and stuff.
Mhm.
That's what a lot of people do.
Mhm.
Well, you get these crazy people talking about, oh, I'm looking for a sugar baby and stuff. Like,
Mhm.
this social media thing is weird. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah, and
So
it's making it's pitting people against each other for sure.
it,
That
it really is.
never should have done, like, never should have happened. Young women being pitted against older women is, I don't feel like that's reality. It's just weird. Like,
I think
nobody's
it's
trying
kind
to.
of always been that way. It's just now it's just being more so put on the forefront.
Okay.
Um, yeah. I mean, I could. It's unfortunate, but there are some women out there who may have talked down to these young girls that may have felt that way, and so now they lashing out on all older women. No, you're venting out at the older woman that made you feel less of yourself, because she didn't deliver her. Though she may have been coming from a good place, but her feedback came off as very,
Caddy.
critical, of very catty, or
Mhm.
or like, things like that. So
Mhm.
um I think that, it's definitely a great opportunity to grow older and be able to say, hey, I wouldn't make those same decisions that I did when I was younger.
Mhm.
um as
That's
far as
basically that's basically what I do when I talk to
yeah,
somebody in the younger position. I'm just like, I've done that before, and that shit didn't work, and I learned my lesson, and I'm telling you so you don't make the same mistake. You know, that's basically how I talk to the younger generation, whether it's male or female. I just tell them what I did and the consequences of it, and hope they learn the lesson through my actions, so they don't have to repeat the
yeah.
action. Yeah, yeah.
And
So,
that's how it's supposed to be, you know
mhm.
I would,
Yeah.
I would probably even like to see um, some more feedback on why a younger girl would feel that way, that, feel that someone is lonely. You know what I did notice, that like when you're younger, I'm not
Uh-huh.
saying that everybody goes through this, but sometimes we go through a time period when we just keep going from one relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's not healthy. I feel that between each relationship, you definitely need to, take time out for yourself, and kind of see kind of meet who you are again. Because a lot of times when you with certain people, or probably with everybody, you definitely take pieces of them or take down maybe even that ideology at times.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of gotta like just take a step back instead of like just getting out of this situation and jump into another one and jump into another one just because you want some companionship at night and stuff. And
Well, that
I
I
think
find that to be a lonely characteristic.
that
That's a
is
person that's lonely.
there.
That
It
has to
is.
be in the amongst people all the time.
Not stay in your own company. Like
Mm-hmm.
the best thing that you could possibly do is love your own company.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're faced with, young age at times, you're constant, there's always those pressures of being very sociable at that age and everything.
Mm,
I
exactly.
know that, along with COVID and a lot of these changes that we've been experiencing for the past couple years, um, we kind of are outside less at places that we used to frequent, or places that are closed now just due to way how the economy is going and everything. And
Yeah.
so people been looking more into the virtual dating or like virtual sites, to kind of meet people and everything. So when she also mentioned about the caliber of men, right? You know what's
Mm-hmm.
scary about a lot of men nowadays, like on social media, or males, I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say men. I'm gonna say males.
Okay.
There was this picture of this builder woman. He was born a boy, and decided that he wanted to do a sex change and decide that they're a trans woman. So if you hear me saying builder woman, I'm talking about those type of people that do that.
Okay.
So the picture, if you just glance at it, of his change, he has on this white dress, very curvy, hair all blonde up, feet out, toes done. Everything was, the feet and the hands were positioned a certain way, so you really couldn't tell if it was like a man or a woman.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny thing about it, there was a lot of males on there talk about, oh, you so sexy and pretty, I want to take you out. And that's kind of scary that they didn't know that that used to be, a male and everything. So that's another thing that's scary out here. You got to be careful with the dudes that may not know the difference, or they may act like they don't know the difference between a woman and a builder woman.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Okay.
maybe they do know and they don't care. So that's another thing you got to be careful about, because now in our day and age, at least back then, that was kind of like still kind of frowned upon, and it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. People like, oh,
Well,
I
the
identify as
technology
this.
wasn't there.
Yeah, the technology wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they did do a couple of those. Um, Operations or whatnot. But I'll be curious to see what they look like now. But yeah, that's the
Well,
world we living in now.
you gotta think about like with the first boob jobs and how how that was and how those people were affected by that the technology then and how it is now. They probably had to go through a whole bunch of transitions, new surgeries to get
Types
updated
of all
stuff.
type of
Yeah.
medicine.
Yeah. But I think, like I said, I think the reason why, you know, the younger women think that older single women are lonely is just because they're not seeing things from their point of view. They haven't experienced the life that an older woman has lived. So they're not, they're just seeing a woman that's to herself and quiet, probably not saying anything and or ruffling any feathers because they got their peace, but they don't see it that way. They're seeing somebody who just looks lonely and angry, and she's shaking her head at me because she's being judgmental, not knowing that she's shaking her head because she probably been through the same shit that you're going through right now. you
Yeah,
know
then she could basically be like the catalyst to help you uh not make the same mistake.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
there's so many reasons why one can assume that. And the 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 experience that these women have, the older women have, and why they're single is the it's just life lessons and peace. People want peace. Even older single men want peace.
Everybody wants peace.
Everybody wants peace.
That's valuable.
So, and I know that they have their challenges with the younger men out there too, assuming that they're miserable and stuff like that. I'm like, you don't know what these people have been through to be the single person they are today, right?
I think so. There's strength in being single.
Yeah, it is, because you're getting to know yourself. You're listening to your inner thoughts. You're not running for attention all the time. You have to
No.
deal with your personal demons. And I think
Yeah,
when somebody is always in a relationship, you're
they
not
never get to
really
do that.
tackling exactly.
They never get to face their demons ever.
Yeah. Or just get to know yourself, you know? So, and I know that lady was talking about the benefits that she had from her relationships in the past, and how these younger girls ain't getting the same thing.
No.
They're getting the words that somebody's going to do something, but nothing's getting done. While the women in the older generation, it was just a different time period. These men did things differently then, and
Yeah.
those same men are still doing the same thing differently that these younger guys might not find useful in their life, because they have these young girls that are doing it for them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
you know I don't know if you've seen those pictures where the girl is making the payment for something, and the guy is like hugging her from
Oh, and then he
behind her.
the guy, the pose where
Yeah.
when he
you
behind her
know
like this, that means he ain't got no money or she's paying for it.
and
Yeah,
my
that's
husband
not cute.
my husband always has a tendency to point that out. We'll be like walking through the mall, and he'll like, "You see that guy over there? He
He
ain't got no money."
really,
And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "Look at him, look at him, look at him, look at him. Would you look at him?"
oh,
And I'm like, "Alex, stop." He's
oh
like, "He
shit,
ain't
that
got
is
no
so
money."
funny, yo.
He
I mean,
always pointing it out, and I'm like, "Babe, you don't know what the situation is." He's like, "I know that situation. I was there before." I was like, "All right, babe." Yeah, so my husband's always pointing out the
oh,
young
that's
guys that do that.
hilarious. That
He's
is
like, "Would you
so
look at
such
this? Look at this."
comedy. uh,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah, even with that, so you got got a change of roles there, sort of, kind of.
yeah,
Then,
but that's the time we live in, and not
and the,
everybody's. It's just different now. And she's from a
yeah,
time period. If she's 46 years old, she was born late 70s and grew up in the 80s, and that was
with
just
a
a
teenager.
completely different era.
Yeah, grew up in the 80s. Was like a full-fledged teenager in the 90s.
Mhm.
Whatever. So, it was definitely a different period. I mean, I know I listened to a lot of music from that time period still.
Yeah. So.
But so let's also touch on more of when she mentioned that the mentality of the men being different. What I've
Mhm.
noticed lately, there's just way too many men having opinions about what another man's wife is doing.
Mhm.
For example, Sierra and Russell.
Yeah. Yeah.
She wore that dress, and they're just everybody, everybody, no, that was my wife. She wouldn't be dressing like that. She's for the street. She's preparing for her exit and all this other blah
But
blah
then
blah blah.
I'm like, nobody did anybody say anything about Kim when she was dressing, or the way she was dressing with Kanye? I don't. I mean, there was.
Exactly.
I'm like, why are they picking on Ciara? Are they? Why are they picking on her? What the fuck's
I
going
don't know.
on?
They've been picking on her for a couple of weeks now. Like, they're always saying, "Oh, Russell, she's for the streets," and
I feel
Russell
like they're just
coined.
not. Then they don't have a problem with. They don't have a problem with Kanye, but they have a problem with Russell. They think Russell fake, or he's too nice. And if he's too nice, I can pick on his wife because he ain't gonna do nothing about it. You know what I
That's
mean?
exactly what it is. Like, why are y'all
Because
worried about what another man a lot, is what his wife is doing. Like
Mhm.
clearly, the little shindig they was at, it was a theme where they those type of dresses. She wasn't the only one that wore a dress like that,
Mhm.
and I mean,
It's,
I don't
she
know.
looked good in it. I'm sure. I didn't
She
even
looked
see the
good in it.
dress. I
I
don't
don't,
know nothing about it, but I'm sure she looked good in it. And it was like, damn, she looked good in it, and that's wrong.
or like just for example, then another situation where um a guy said he broke up with his girlfriend because Chris Brown was lap dancing on her. Ah,
Oh my god, I'm just thinking of myself. My husband, he goes to strip clubs, and for every lap dance he got, I should have like divorced him like every year, once a
yeah,
year, just divorce him
that's
because he
hilarious.
had gotten a lap dance and prior lap dances. I should have never even married him. Right? It
Right,
don't make
yeah.
any sense to hold that against a female when
And
it's being done on a regular basis. But whatever.
yeah, and it's like I brought all that up to say, like, why would you want to deal with a man that's easily triggered by something like that? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that was like the trending topic on the timeline for like 2 whole days. And it wasn't just one talking about it. It's like there was more and more talking about it, being opinionated about it. And then, you just look at the other guys that, that tend to have all the chicks flock to them and everything. You don't ever hear those type of guys talking about what my wife or what another person's wife is wearing.
Hmm, probably because he's getting his eggplant wet, so it really didn't matter to him.
That's what I'm saying. Why would you want a dude that's don't be concerned about stuff like
I'm
that?
like, why are you
You
worried
would,
about what she wearing? I'm like,
yeah.
can you wear it better? Is that why you're? Why are we having this
That wouldn't be
conversation?
my wife. But then a lot of them that was like, oh, that wouldn't be my wife. A lot of them I be seeing them. They be talking about they single. Like, I wonder why you single? Because you're always triggered by every little event that happens, and you always have an opinion about it. Who cares? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that goes for anybody. I feel like the people who have an opinion about everything and want to be upset about everything are like the least tolerable people to hang out with. I'm like, you mad because she ain't matching? Okay, well, I'm gonna go over there because I can't have this conversation. We're not talking about somebody not matching or somebody wearing the Jordans with the booty cheeks on it. Clearly those are not Jordans. As long as they got feet on their, shoes on their feet, that's all that matter. I'm not here to judge people based on what they wear, how they live their life. As long as they happy, and if they're unhappy about it, let's talk about it. You
Yeah.
know, but
Like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care what anybody do, just as long as you ain't molesting no children, as long as you ain't harming any elderly people.
mm-hmm.
I
Or
mean,
people in general, just
oh, oh, yeah, but
I just think that people are picking the wrong fights.
they
You know,
really are.
they're picking the wrong
They
fights and
really
being
are.
mad about somebody else's wife, and they ain't got one. Probably never get one because they don't really want a wife. Just say you don't want a wife. Why?
Yeah,
Why have this conversation about people you don't care for? Wives,
and
if you just well.
what's also funny with this topic today, it's also estimated that in later years, more and more women, older women, are going to be single and everything because a lot of men feel like they want to go overseas. The passport bros want to go get their wives over there and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I say, hey, do what you want to do.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I'm like, to each their own. But to
Exactly. Yeah, that's
be
been going on for
mad,
years.
yeah.
It's just that melanated dudes are doing it more. The white Caucasian men been doing it for a long
all their
time.
life.
They've been doing it
All their
all their
life they've been
life.
coming home with their mail order brides. Nobody said nothing.
Nope.
It's just a running joke, but nobody was saying anything. Nobody cared. You
Yeah,
know.
like, oh, he got a mail in order to ride.
you know. Like
hilarious.
I'm like, let them do it. It's gonna make them happy, supposedly, and that's it. But to be to be upset because they think somebody's lonely and putting the blame on them or for the way their life is going makes no sense. And especially when you haven't lived their life, you know. But I do, in reference to the younger generation and the what she say, pushing a narrative.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, which I think everybody knows is obvious that they're trying, it's like an aesthetic. You're trying to that look, you're trying to have the look of success. You're trying to show that, you're doing things and stuff like that. And it's on repeat. You're looking at everybody's shows and on, let's say, YouTube, you're seeing the hair, the makeup getting done. They all doing it the same way. They all laying their baby edges and stuff like that. And it's not a surprise that you're duplicating what you think is working, you know? And but in reality that's not going to work. You can't you gotta live your life. You gotta try to step out of those out of the repeat loop in order to get what you want. You
That was the
gotta
beautiful thing about not having social media growing up as well.
hmm
That you kind of got to be yourself, you know?
yeah, and I don't feel like a lot of these girls are being themselves, you know.
Yeah.
They're
Because I
not
know
being
every time, like,
themselves.
I'm scrolling, it be seeming like it's the same girl over and over again, but no, it's a different girl. They're all just looking the same.
hmm
No, I'm like, I don't, I never like to look like the crowd.
hmm I
So,
hear you. Yeah.
yeah.
But like, you'll never you'll never know if somebody's lonely unless you see certain patterns. I just think that the signs of loneliness is to keep yourself from being lonely. So you can't really
That
accuse
is
somebody of
true.
being lonely. You're only saying they're lonely because you see themselves alone. But I say, if you see somebody that's always doing stuff with people all the time, always out, never home, not to themselves, not, they're just not taking a seat and relaxing, that is a sign of somebody who's lonely. Now, if they sitting to themselves, they're outside, they're sitting on their porch and they're sitting and just watching the neighborhood walk by, you can't accuse them of being lonely. They're purposely sitting to themselves.
And that's actually peaceful to do that, especially if it's a nice day outside.
Yeah, they're purposely being to themselves, and that's very hard to do. Very hard to do is to sit and just watch.
Be still and like just think
Go to lunch,
by
have your own
yourself.
personal lunch date by yourself and eat there and watch. Go to the movies, watch the movie and actually enjoy the movie and watch
Work
the
out at the
people
gym.
around you. You know? That's I find to be difficult. I've done it and it's nice, but I know that to accuse to say that they're lonely when you made the actual decision to do this by yourself, you
Yeah.
know that it's pretty cool. It's not easy, but when you do it, it's an amazing event. It's like, damn, I did this.
It
I
really
ate this
is.
meal. I ain't had to talk to nobody. Nobody pissed me off. They ain't say anything that made me not want to finish my meal, made me want to walk out of this movie theater, or made me want to stop sitting in my front porch. I'm just sitting here in peace, you
I
know?
know what I've been putting off for too long. I've been saying that I either want to go play a couple games of bowling or play some pool by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've really
Bowling
been
sounds fun.
that. Oh, it is. We got a
Yeah, the
comment. Let's
challenge
check
is
it.
between yourself. You know, like, let me see if I can do this. Get these
Yeah,
strikes. Yeah,
you can.
that shit is
Let's
hot.
grab, let's grab this comment.
Yeah, cause for me, I went from my mother's house to my husband's house. I haven't even lived my life. I haven't found my, you know, what I liked, my dislikes. I had no room to grow. So now I'm growing. I'm finding my dislikes. I'm finding what I like to do.
I
Aw.
understand that. Yeah. I mean, the circumstance of, situation and to be in the situation that you are now is sad, but, now you're growing into who you want to be and being, you know, on your own and appreciating it. So I understand your situation, Carol.
Hey, that's definitely a beautiful thing when you can dictate how you're going to spend your time and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, from my understanding, for what I've observed, there's a lot of married women who never got a chance to do that. They just
Exactly.
do their
They're
own
still
thing.
married and never had that chance.
We got another comment from Carol.
Mm-hmm.
That's true because my situation arrived from the death of my husband.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, then my situation is different.
Yeah. And there's a lot of women like you, that the only way they became lonely is because their husband passed away. So, not everybody's gotten divorced. They just, life moves on. So it's not always about the man, it's just the situation that presented itself. And I think people need to always consider that before they say anything crazy to somebody.
Well,
Okay?
we just gotta. We're just in a society where it's more cooler to you know just
Blame the sexes.
yeah just speak instead of seeking
Mm-hmm.
to understand. They just want to respond, but they don't want to understand the situation.
Mm-hmm. You got a comment.
Oh yeah, I'm grabbing it right now from Carol.
People need to stop assuming the situation women became single.
Exactly.
Absolutely,
Exactly.
absolutely. Because it could definitely, you hear people expressing all types of opinions why they think a situation is. Like, you don't know what reason why anybody just decides that they want to be single, especially when they get older. Um, there's a lot of foolishness out there, so to say. Like, just
Thank
just in
you.
general,
I feel
social
like I just
media.
got a kiss. I
So
just got
sweet.
kisses. Go on. Sorry.
So when you're dealing with like back to the whole mindset situation, right? So I found this other meme by this person that they wrote. It said, always cheat on her with a woman that is hotter than her so that she can understand that you're doing her a favor by being with her while you have better options. And,
Mm.
people just, the sad thing is there are people that really feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's too many numbskulls out there. So never ever say to somebody, oh, they're lonely with good reason because they don't want to, because we find there's a lot of people just jumping, getting too involved with people too quick. Just like how
Yeah.
she was saying in the video that they were doing more for less now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you listen to these songs, they be saying, oh, do all these types of stuff.
Yeah.
People, I know a lot of people don't have protected sex lately because people are just more concerned about getting pregnant. That's why you hear a lot of songs talk about getting Plan Bs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's scary out here. I'm so grateful to not be in my 20s in this era with all this stuff that's going on.
I would being in my 20s period in the era that I was in, which was what, the early 2000s. That shit was
Yeah,
scary too.
yeah, it was scary.
You,
It's
I'm
even more
like,
scary now to me.
yeah. Well, I think people are just choosing ignorance now. Maybe they were
Yeah.
choosing ignorance then, but there was a lot of health crisis that happened in the 90s and the 80s that I think people are a little bit more careful, and I think lately, as the 2000 has started, people have gotten more ignorant to things, and they think because HIV is not rampant anymore, that they're
Shit.
safe to do things, and
No.
you know, you know, and it's not even the case. Like, that shit is crazy. Next thing you know, you got something that you have to take certain medication for, and you don't know why you're in this situation. So I think people, they're choosing ignorance. A lot of them are choosing ignorance now,
Oh yeah.
and yeah.
Let's grab these
So
comments from Carol.
There's a difference between lonely and being alone. You
mhm.
choose to
Yes,
be alone. When you're lonely, you don't choose to be alone. It's a situation that puts you there.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Sometimes it's yourself that puts you you fucked up
Yes.
somewhere, and now you're lonely. Yeah, so it
Hey,
depends.
Ladybug Fox.
Hey, hey, hey. What
Hi.
it do, beautiful ladies? What's going on?
How you
I
doing,
see the
Ladybug?
topic. Are older single women lonely? What is considered older? I am 46. I am not lonely, but I am single.
Yeah,
See?
yeah. See, and then the lady in the video that was talking, she was 46 as
She said
well,
she was
talking
46 as
about.
well.
Yeah, so she was basically, touching on how things was different then and that is now. Like,
Mhm.
I know I got a nice reading from Miss Fedox, a couple weeks ago, and she was like, "Girl, go ahead and put yourself out there." But it's like I'm like that, putting my toe, in the water,
What, in
kind of
cold
like,
water?
like checking.
Oh, it's cold.
Like, oh, I don't know about that. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Like, put
I
yourself out there. I'm like, I'll see, I'll try. Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. I don't know how people are tolerating this shit. I tell my husband
Yeah.
all the time, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I'm like, he's got to stay here for forever, because if he leaves, I'm on my own. I'm lonely. I'm going to be lonely. I'm going to be alone. You can call me
Get
whatever
some
the hell you want.
cats. Get a
I'm
bunch of
gonna meet
cats and
you at a
stuff.
hotel. You're not coming to my house. You're not meeting my children. No, I don't want to get married. I don't want to do none of that stuff. And I might be saying that now, but that's how I feel right now. This ain't
Yeah.
happening again. Lightning don't strike twice in the same
Nope.
spot. Yeah.
Gonna grab that comment from Miss
The dating scene is horrible. These guys nowadays, this new millennial guys, they want you
Hmm.
to chase them. I ain't chasing nobody. What I look like? Chasing some man. I'm just saying though, but yeah, it's I don't even know where I would start as far as like getting back in the dating scene. It would be really awkward for me. I'm not doing the dating sites. No, no,
Oh, you're not?
no.
Okay.
I already tried that already years ago, and that's not for me.
Hmm.
I heard about the interesting people on there. I know for the one that shared the post that I just mentioned about always cheat on her with a woman that's hotter than her. I know
Hmm.
my comment to that when I seen it, I was just like, I feel bad for the people on the dating scene out here.
Yeah, because I'm like, how do you know? How do you know what? I'm like, I mean, what do you expect anybody to do? Let's not even talk about the older single women, just single people in general. If they're
Yeah.
single and they're choosing to be single, they just don't want to deal with the bullshit. It's just too much bullshit.
Yeah, I
It's just
know
too much
my
weird shit going on.
I know, yeah, that was my reply to that. And then there was other people that got on. It was like, yeah, it's horrible out here for us. It's like hell out here.
See,
I
they
was
don't
like,
even
look,
they saw they saw the thing, and they know, like, for that person to say that, I'm like, I don't want to fucking date. I don't want to date at all. This is
I know
crazy.
for me, like, yeah, it's like I'm not with anybody, but it's like I don't, I don't consider myself dating or anything because I'm like,
Mhm.
I hate the way that sounds, for
Mhm.
me. But let's grab this comment. Okay.
Where's the male escort services out here? I'm just you know what I'm saying? Where's the cuddlers? Come get
Oh,
this
what's that? Well,
200 and cuddle with
That's
me for like 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? They would be booming
that's
right now. That business would take off. I'm just saying.
that is yeah. They do have those though. They do have the male escorts,
I
and
saw that
there
cuddling
was a
thing.
lady. She was a professional cuddler, but I don't
Mhm.
know if like the dude, like the dudes have that, like they're professional cuddlers or whatever.
I think I saw something like that. You're gonna have to
That would
look
be
it up.
cool.
Yeah, it would
That
be
would be
cool.
cool. Yeah, just hug. Like let's just hug in the rain, and that's it. In the
Yeah,
bed
it's like
for a
meet
couple
me on the
hours.
corner of meet me on the corner of Church Church Avenue
Not Church
and
Avenue.
Broadway.
Not
Church and Broadway.
not Church and Broadway, like some TV.
give,
Ah,
give me a hug.
something you see on TV in the rain.
Like
Yes,
that'll be $20. Okay.
okay.
Yes. I'm
Just a
like, yeah.
warm embrace for like a couple, like about 20 minutes or so.
I say sometimes I be getting jealous of the lonely people. I'm like, damn, she got to sit there and write something down. I can't even write something down. At the moment I hear a child scream or my husband call me, right? Whatever fucking thought was in my head is now gone. I'm like, the luxury of keeping a train of thought is it's just too priceless.
Let's grab this comment.
The dating scene these days, even I would say during my era, was very sketchy because you met someone on the street, whereas during the time of my mother and father, you had to bring the person home to see the parents, so the whole family met the person that you were interested in.
Oh,
Yeah, the cool thing about that,
okay. But that's not sketchy anymore. That's
well,
not
at
even
least there was a
sketchy
lot
anymore.
of
But I'm sure.
stuff you avoided, with
Mhm.
having your family meet the people.
Mhm.
There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
That's like the Huskables. Am I saying
Yeah,
their
the
names
Huxtable
right?
type thing. Huxtables, yeah.
Yeah. That's a different. That's even more of a different time period. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can see how that might have been like gut wrenching and difficult. But then, like once everybody was happy with the person, and everything just was easy after that. Not easy, but it wasn't. It was just a different time period. I can see the ease of that.
Yeah, and
You
it's
know.
like and then you figure people, I guess people probably even got to get creative with like their dates. Cause I mean, I know for me, I have no interest in going on a date with somebody to go to a restaurant. Cause it's like,
Mhm.
you got to sit there, wait for your food. Like, I feel like that's so pointless to be there with somebody that you're not, to how to use that to get to know them, Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. It takes a while to get to know people. You got to kind of like see them in all situations to kind of get to know them, not just sitting over, then you asking a question here and answering a question there. And, you want to be sure that you're meeting that person and not their representative.
Mhm.
And I think that's a lot happens like that nowadays where you're seeing people's representatives, but they're not really getting an idea of who they
Who
are.
they are? Yeah. Well, let's change that from like the table to a park or something like that, and go play frisbee and see if he can catch. And I'm like, oh, okay, he's athletic. He likes
Okay,
to
that's
run and
good.
jump.
Or what, like have a gym date too?
Yeah, gym date. See if he
Let
can
me like
handle
let me
the.
see how much he can leg press.
Yeah. See if he can handle the Smith machine. Do 90
Yeah.
pounds
See if he
minimum.
squats.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
Hey, that works for me. Let's grab
Hmm.
this comment from Ladybug.
Yes, Carol, for real, for real. Like my parents had to meet them. I remember actually a friend of mine that I met also. This was like 11th grade in high school. And he came over to meet my parents. The dude was interested in me, but he knew I had a boyfriend, but my parents didn't like my boyfriend, so they didn't mind someone else intervening. And talking to my parents. And I was like, then my mom left for work and he was just talking to my dad. I'm like, damn, can I go on my date? Like, y'all talking for hours. Like, what the fuck? But my dad kind of liked him, so.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Aww.
Honestly, I feel like I'm probably going to meet somebody doing something that I like to do. Probably either me being somewhere like at the gym or, at some poetry slam or something like that. Like, yeah, because people in the street, I just don't really pay them no mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. It gotta be like something like hobbies and stuff. Can't just be
Mm-hmm.
like what they have, what this new thing they got, like speed dating. I've seen it on movies and found it funny, but does anybody have any experience like that in here?
No.
They actually one of them speed dating
I think
events.
I remember you going to a speed date.
Cool. I never went to those speed.
You never went? Okay, then that's somebody.
No, I never. That must have been somebody else. It wasn't me.
It wasn't
I
you,
just
no.
seen it on movies and thought it was funny.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think the best way to get out of, you know, doing things alone is to do things that you like doing and being amongst people who like doing those things too. To find somebody you'll enjoy doing things with. Like I think people are doing things the wrong way. It's like, oh, if you want to find somebody who's educated, and you're going to school, you find somebody in school, you find somebody at the art show, you find somebody there. You're not just picking up somebody on the street because, like it was said, it's kind of sketchy, so you find somebody who's doing the things that you like doing. But then people are funny and they like to act like they like those things just to get closer to you. So you never know. You just
Oh, I
have to.
can't stand those type of people. Just
Hmm.
leave. Ugh. Let's grab this comment because I'm just gonna go on a tangent with that.
Oh shit, speed dating. Okay. Yes, I did that years ago at the club Jamrock, right? And it was so hilarious because all of the guys chose me.
Oh, they did.
At the
Aw.
end, I was like, oh shit, I can't date all of y'all.
Wow.
Oh, that is so funny. You definitely got to tell us more about that.
For me, most of the time, over the last couple of years, it's been coworkers interested, and I don't, I have a rule: I don't date coworkers, so
Yeah, that is kind
so
of out of the
that's
question.
kind of out the
That,
question. Sorry.
yeah, you can't eat where you shit. Eat where you shit. Can't shit where you eat. However you want to put it. Either or.
That's funny because back in the days, that's what I used to eat where I shit. Then that's too funny. All
Yeah, I got
right.
to be careful with that. But
Mm-hmm.
man, we got some great conversation in. Well, let's grab this comment first.
Nigger, nigger.
Whoa.
Wow.
Ooh, he got blocked.
Did he? Did he?
I blocked his comment. Wait a minute.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
look here. Anyway,
Okay.
that was
So
interesting.
that's it.
So yeah, we got some good conversation in despite that last comment.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that there's going to be more trolls on this stereo app nowadays. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's besides the point. So we summed it up today. Older women are not lonely. They're single by choice, and being single by choice does not mean that they are difficult to deal with. More so that they are not just going to deal with the bullshit that you're going to hand them on a plate.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Azima, before we close out, where can everyone find you?
You can find me at on YouTube and Facebook, you can find me on YouTube and Facebook as OZD Wellness and Fitness. That's OZIDI. And you can find me on Instagram and TikTok as Azima the Only. Azima, AZIMA, the Only. And where can we find you?
So yes, you can find me across all platforms of TikTok, IG, Facebook, and YouTube at Camp Jogo Fit. That's KampJogofit. And make sure y'all subscribe to us on the Wine Fine podcast on YouTube as well. I
Mm.
think Ladybug is gonna tell us more about this speed dating. Let's go in and grab that real quick.
Oh my goodness, here we go again with these. Samuel's tripping. I don't know why they're allowing 12 years old and up to be on it. Wow, we
Oh,
got 12 years old on
so
here
you know about it then.
now. They gotta.
The
Yeah.
children. Yeah.
Yeah, the children, they're gonna. So, yeah, we're definitely probably gonna fully have to move this over to YouTube, people, because we're coming across children why they need to be on this app. I don't know, but maybe that's all done by design. They're trying to help out this new sexuality they're trying to bring forth, which is called maps and stuff. But we're not going to get into that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's grab this comment, Miss Five.
I only remember the dress I wore.
Oh,
Nice black dress, slits at both sides, shoulders out. You know, you get the picture.
Mm-hmm.
oh, you hit them with the splits and the shoulders. Oh
Mm-hmm.
no, had them going crazy.
Yeah. Beautiful black dress, I'm sure.
Yeah, you ain't go wrong with a black dress, especially with some slits on the side and with them arms out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All
man,
right.
it has been awesome. I really enjoyed this conversation. I really enjoyed everyone's interaction on here. Make sure you catch us again next week. We'll be here, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Podcast. You can find us next week for episode 23.
Wow, 23.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Have a good night.
All right. Peace, y'all. Good night.
Bye.
Bye bye.